gotta film a reading vlog starting today. There's no specific theme for this reading vlog. Maybe as I read, one will come up. I have some books that I'm reading that I need to get through. Major thing happening soon is that Sunrise on the Reaping, the new Hunger Games book, comes out on Tuesday. Today is Sunday, and I'm in the middle of 2 books. One is a fantasy, one is a sci-fi, and I feel like I cannot be reading those genres and read a new book. And when that book comes out, I'm first in line on the hold list at the library for that book, so I'm anticipating getting it, if not on Tuesday, sometime next week. Main goal now is to finish the books that I'm currently reading. Before I show you, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any more videos from me, and thanks for sticking with me as I get back into posting regularly again. Comment down below what you are reading right now, and without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay. This is what we've got. Most importantly is this book, Project Hail Mary. I am on page 308 of like 470 or something. So I don't have that much left in this book. And this one is for my book club, which will meet on Thursday. So I definitely have to finish this one first. And honestly, I want to get through this one because I'm really enjoying it, but I'm having a hard time reading it quickly. I don't know, like I just keep picking it up and putting it back down. So I would love to finish this book today. I don't have like a ton of plans. Also, major thing that I forgot to put out there, it's over 60 degrees outside today. I opened the windows in my apartment. I'm gonna go sit in my backyard because I cannot be inside when it's so nice out after such a long cold winter. So anyway, tangent, that's where I will be reading these books right now. First order of business. Second order of business, Circe. I listened to this at work all day on Friday, and, well, not all day, but I listened to it at work on Friday. It says I'm 35% of the way through. I'm on chapter 10. I'm almost done chapter 10. So that means we are on page 130. So I'm not halfway through this book yet, but I would like to read a little bit of this today. This may be my audiobook for the day. Those are the 2 books that are up first. I think the next book that I'm going to read is this book, mainly because it's gonna be due back at the library ASAP. This one is like a little over 300 pages, and it looks like the chapters are so short, and I really loved this author's book, Black Cake, when I read that a few years ago, so I'm really excited about this one. It's a new release. So we're going to sit outside, enjoy the warm air, the sun, maybe, and read this book, and we'll catch up in a little bit. Okay guys, if it wasn't so windy, it would literally be the perfect day outside, but I'm gonna take what I can get. I also served myself this little bowl of these new hippie things. They're like hippies, but tiny, but they're so good. Let's see how this is. Okay, it's pretty good. All right, here goes. morning, friends. It is Monday now, and I wanted to give you a little update on what I've been reading over the past like 12 hours since I've talked to you. First piece of news is that I finished Project Hail Mary, finally. I really enjoyed this one, and I rated it a 4.25. I can't say a ton about the book without spoiling it, and honestly, I think that this one is best if you go in totally blind, because it's just more fun to watch the story unfold that way. I really enjoyed the main character in this book, and he reminds me a lot of Mark, I think his name is, from The Martian, and it must be who Andy Weir is as a person. Like, he has to be self-inserting a little bit, but just like these very nerdy science guys that have a sense of humor even though they're in like the most horrible situation that you can imagine, and it's really fun to follow along with them. This one, I feel like there was a little bit too much science for me. I do feel like at least 50% of it I understood, and I think that it was explained in a way that made sense, but after a while I was like reading paragraphs upon paragraphs about what they were doing and why they were doing it. It just like got a little bit boring for me. If you like science, if you're like a STEM person, you would love this book. I am going off of whatever I remember from middle and high school science classes, and that was a little while ago. So overall, I did really enjoy this one. I really liked the ending. I really liked the main character. There were lots of other things I really liked that I cannot talk about. So I rated this one a 4.25 stars, like I said, and I'm excited to talk about it with my book club because I feel like there's so much that I want to say, but obviously I can't because it will be spoilers. So we've got one book done in this video so far. I'm hoping to crush through a lot of books this week. So next book that I've been listening to is Circe. I was just listening to this morning while I was getting ready. They all have like Greek god, goddess names, whatever, and then we just met a character named Jason. I'm not quite halfway yet, but this I have on audiobook, and I actually think I only have it for one more day on Libby, so I'm going to try to finish this one today. It's not that long. The audiobook is only 12 hours, so I don't have that much left. And I also have it on my Kindle, and I have the physical copy, so whatever way I want to read it, I'll be able to read it. Still enjoying this one. It feels like just a lot of little stories together. Some of it I'm understanding. I really like the audiobook narrator. She's making it feel like a very like fairy tale experience. And then the last book that I have to talk about is Good Dirt. I started this one last night, and I have about like 10 or 15 minutes before I have to leave for work, so I'm gonna read a little bit of this now. If I finish Circe, I may choose to use my Spotify hours on this, trying to not let my Spotify hours go to waste because I keep doing that. But this is great so far. It's about this woman whose brother was murdered when she was much younger, and now we're seeing her in like 2018 present day, and she has just had to call off her wedding because of her fiance didn't want to get married. I guess we don't really know exactly what the situation there was yet, and she decides to take a trip to France. She's never been away from her family since her brother died, and she just needs to escape her life for a little bit. And she gets there, and there is a surprise visitor, and I won't say more because even though it's only like 20 pages in, it's still a surprise. It's not in the dust jacket. I really like the writing. I knew that I would because I loved Black Cake so much, and I feel like authors' writing can only get better from their first release. And also, all the chapters in here are like only a couple pages long, which is great. On my lunch break, I have to work out because I did not wake up early enough to go do that, but I think my workout will only take about half an hour, and then I will either get dressed and sit and read, or I will walk on the treadmill and read. That's the plan for today. I'm gonna read a little bit and then go to work. I am home from work now. It is 6:40. I've been home for about an hour now. I didn't end up finishing Circe at work today, even though I thought it wouldn't be a problem based on how much time I had left, but I guess I had a lot of work that I had to pause the audiobook for. This one I really wanted to pay attention to because I was enjoying it, and also lots of things were happening. I didn't want to miss anything. So anyway, I got home, and as I was cleaning up and making dinner and stuff, I listened to the last of it, and I just finished it like 1 minute ago, and I really enjoyed this one. Also, shout out Libby for buying me this book for Christmas. You finally gave me the push to read this book. This is one of our favorites, and I can see why. I think that I would have benefited from knowing literally anything about Greek mythology before I read this book, but actually I don't think that it really mattered that I didn't know a lot about Greek mythology going into this book, because most stuff was explained. There was like a helpful little character guide at the very end, and I was sometimes referring to that, and I have like some vague memories of reading the Odyssey in 6th grade. That was a long time ago, so I don't really remember it super well, but there's some things I remember about that, and a little bit of what I remember from reading Song of Achilles. I do feel like emotionally I was much more connected to the characters in Song of Achilles, but that was like a very intense emotional love story. This one was more of like an epic, I guess, of Circe and her life, and I really enjoyed the audiobook. Like I was saying earlier, it felt like somebody was telling me like a fairy tale or something. It was just very calming and peaceful, even though the content was really intense. But I love the audiobook narrator, and I'm really glad I listened to this one, so I would definitely recommend this audiobook. What else can I say about this book? It was kind of an amalgamation of different stories. Like they all had a common thread throughout, but I liked this sort of like following a part of her life. I think I'm gonna rate this one a 4.5. I really loved it. Not a 5-star feeling from me, but I thought it was super well written, and I really enjoyed reading it, and it's kind of making me want to reread the Odyssey, even though that sounds kind of hard. When I read the Odyssey last time, I had a teacher to help me, and even then I was so confused. I was also 12, but I did really enjoy this one, and I am glad that I finished it. So that's my review on Circe. Maybe next time you see me, I will be in a different location, but for now, this is our update spot. I will talk to you guys when I'm a little bit further into Good Dirt. Hi friends. One last check-in before I go to bed. I am laying down. I'm gonna read Good Dirt. I'm not sleepy right this second, but I do think I will only be able to read like 5 pages before I do fall asleep, because that happens to me every night. I try to read in bed, and I think I'm gonna read a lot, and then I just get sleepy and fall asleep with the light on and the book in my hand, and I have a feeling that's what's gonna happen tonight. I'm gonna read my book, finally, and go to sleep soon. And I have swim practice in the morning, so I probably won't talk to you. Hoping and praying that I get a notification from the library for my book tomorrow morning, or sometime tomorrow before work is over. So if that happens, you will hear from me. And if not, I will talk to you after work regardless. Good night. See you guys tomorrow. Hi guys. It is Tuesday evening now. It's about 6:30. I'm home from work. I've made myself dinner. We're doing very easy dinner tonight. I made this Bonza mac and cheese. Not sure how I feel about it, but I made it, so I'm gonna eat it. And then some little chicken nuggets on the side. I have been listening to this book most of today. I also read it during my lunch break, and I'm almost done. I have like 70-ish pages left, and I'm really enjoying it. Like I was reading it at lunch. I was totally losing track of time. It's just so good. Like her writing is so beautiful, and I'm also loving the way that she's telling the story of like what's going on presently, but then also what happened in the main character's past, and then also telling their family history through that and further past timelines. And I just think it's so smart the way it's going back and forth. I love a book with multiple timelines, and this one has been done super well. It feels very intentional the way each chapter is placed. I'm really happy about that because I had high expectations for this one, so I'm glad that it has lived up to those expectations so far. Overall, I'm really enjoying it. So I'm gonna finish this one now. Bad news, I did not get an email from my library today about Sunrise on the Reaping. I literally was refreshing my email like every 30 minutes. It's still showing in the library system as like on order. It hasn't processed yet, so hopefully I'll get that tomorrow. But in the meantime, I do have the audiobook that I got from Hoopla, and also working on getting the ebook potentially. I have it on my phone. I really want the physical book. I don't want to just start listening to the audiobook. Like I would like to actually read it, but if I can get it on my Kindle, then maybe I will start it tonight. I've been seeing people post about it already, and I'm like feeling FOMO from not having started it yet. So that's the reading update for now. I'm gonna sit and eat my dinner and read my book for a little bit, and I will talk to you guys when I finish Good Dirt. I'm so enjoying this one. It's seeming like I'm gonna give it 5 stars, which is really exciting. good dirt. It's like 9 o'clock now. I was busy just having dinner, cleaning up for dinner. My mom called me. I talked to her for a little bit and I still had like 75 pages left, but I'm done. I'm rating this book 5 stars. It emotionally impacted me so much in a way that I did not expect it to, and pretty much everything that I said earlier is how I still feel. It was just such a good story. She did such a good job telling the story of our main character and all of the surrounding characters in her life and all of her ancestors that they talked about as well, and I just thought it was so beautifully done. I was crying at the end. The discussions surrounding grief and tragedy were so, what's the right word? Everything was done in a very tasteful and graceful, maybe is the word I'm looking for, way. Like sometimes when you have these heavy topics in books, I think authors can tend to get really heavy-handed with what they're trying to say, and I really dislike that. I like books when things are more subtle and where you get to understand how the characters are feeling just by reading about them and learning more about them, and the show don't tell. And Charmaine Wilkerson did an amazing job with that. And I'm honestly interested to see what I would think about Black Cake if I reread it, because I really enjoyed it when I read it, but I'm wondering if I would like it more rereading it, or if she's just improved so much for this one because it's her second book, and I'm sad she only has these 2 books out and I can't read more from her, but excited to read more of her books when they come out someday in the future, probably in another few years. But anyway, I would absolutely recommend this one, especially if you like historical fiction, and it was so good. 5 stars. So I'm super happy that this one did not let me down, and I have got Sunrise on the Reaping on my Kindle. I'm freaking out a little bit. I didn't think I was gonna be this excited about this book, but I've been seeing so much hype around it online and I'm just so excited about it. Quickly, I never read the Hunger Games series as a kid. I read a lot of other dystopian books, but I just never ended up reading that one. And I read it a couple years ago, and I'm honestly glad that I waited till I read it as an adult. I do kind of wish I had some nostalgia surrounding it, but it was so good reading it as an adult, and I really enjoyed the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and I really love the movie. I've seen the movie a couple times. I definitely feel like a dystopian book is gonna hit a little harder now, but I've seen so many people who have already read this or are already reading this say that it's so emotional. I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited to start it. So it's only 9 o'clock. I don't have any other plans for the evening, so we'll see how much of this book that I can read tonight. And I have the audiobook, so I can listen to it tomorrow. Hoping my library hold comes in at some time, but now that I've got it on my Kindle and I have the audiobook, I guess I don't really even need that. That's what we're gonna be doing for the rest of the night. I am so excited. I never ever read books on release day. Like there are only like 2 times that has happened for me in the past, and it's so fun to be a part of it right when it's happening. I feel like really in on what's going on. So I'm gonna make a little TikTok. If you don't follow me on TikTok, that is always linked down below, but I'm gonna make a little TikTok of me starting this book, and then I'm going to get to reading. I'll probably have like a little snack or something and tuck in for the night. I will update you guys before I go to bed. Hi friends, I'm about to go to bed. I was sitting on the couch reading, falling asleep in the last like 2 minutes of the last chapter, but I'm on chapter 5 now, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I feel really sucked into the book. It's so interesting to read a story that's a prequel because you already know that haymitch was in the game, so during the reaping you knew he was going to be picked, and you know he makes it out of the games because he's in the original trilogy. You're still like, you don't know what's going to happen, and he's obviously talking about how he doesn't feel like he's gonna make it because you go into the Hunger Games expecting to die, and it's just interesting to be reading from that perspective. But I'm enjoying it. There are lots of familiar last names and even characters. I keep trying to remember like placement time-wise. This is the second quarter quell, so it's like 24 years before the first Hunger Games book and 40 years after Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. And they like briefly mention Lucy Gray, but they don't say her name. Anyway, I'm gonna go to bed and I will talk to you guys in the morning. Hi friends, I am done with work now. It is so exciting to me that it is 6 o'clock. I'm sitting outside. It's over 60 degrees and I'm gonna finish my book. Can it get any better? I am nervous to finish my book. I have been reading it all day. I was listening to it at work. I read it on my lunch break and I am so captivated by this story. It feels so classic Hunger Games. Like, if you've read The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, you know that one is pretty different compared to the original trilogy, just in the format and the story, whatever. This one is a very classic Hunger Games book. It feels like both Hunger Games and Catching Fire, with the reaping and the actual games themselves. That's what we're following for most of the book. I have probably like 50 or 60 pages left, and I was getting to the point at work where I was like, where should I stop? Because I would love to finish this, but I cannot finish it at my desk. I know I will be upset at the end. I don't know for sure, but based on everybody's reactions that I've been seeing, I think I will be upset at the end. So that's why I'm nervous, but I'm enjoying it so much. There's so many little Easter eggs and stuff from both The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and the Hunger Games trilogy, and I am very excited afterwards to do a deep dive and like learn about all the stuff I missed. But for now, we've got my Kindle. Also, my library hold didn't come in today. If it does come in, I'm not sure that I will pick it up. I might just let it go to the next person because I'll be done by then. I'll decide when the time comes. But anyway, I am psyched that I can sit outside and finish this book. I literally put shorts on. It is probably a little bit cold for shorts. My Google Home inside said it was 70 degrees out. It's not. It's 63, but it still feels so nice out, and I'm gonna hang out here with the squirrels and the chipmunk and finish my book. Can you even believe it? I'm so excited about this. Here we go, chapter 26. I have 40 pages left of the book. Okay, chapter 26, here we go. Anymore. I so enjoyed that. Let me just say that experience was made 100 times better by reading it in less than 24 hours. Nothing makes me more excited than finishing a book in less than 24 hours. I don't know what it is, but reading a book that fast is like, I love it so much. And also this book came out yesterday, so I'm like very on top of it. I'm feeling so excited to go do like a big deep dive and see all the Easter eggs I missed. I don't want to say too much because I was excited to go into this one pretty blind. I'm sure by the time I post this, you'll have seen some content about the book. But what I have to say is there were a lot of Easter eggs. It was really awesome in like a heartbreaking way to get the backstory of Haymitch, because obviously we see him in the Hunger Games trilogy, but you don't really know a ton about him. And it's so interesting to me when an author writes prequels because they have to match up with the books that they've already written, and this one was interesting because it was in between the other prequel she already wrote and the trilogy that she wrote, and so you got bits and pieces from both, and that was really awesome. What really got me was the end and the epilogue, and I won't say more. This book definitely feels like a book for the fans. Like, it's not like world's best piece of literature. I probably am gonna give it like a 4.25. All of the references and all of the characters in it, it was definitely a book for Hunger Games fans. I'm gonna think about this book for a little bit. Holy cow. I can't wait for the movie to come out. There were so many parts in that where I was like, I need to see this visualized, and after seeing the Hunger Games movies, how they all came to life, like, I know that this one is gonna be really good. So I also wonder if they're gonna have to get like a middle-aged person to play President Snow, because this is 25 years before the original Hunger Games books, so he's younger. Just thinking about it. I will talk to you guys a little later.